Now that the good air is flowing, we can start this next episode of Vacuum Saved. What's up, guys? Untitled Studios here, and today will be another Vacuum Saved. Now, unfortunately, I just forgot which number of Vacuum Saved it is, but this is the Thrift Store / Vacuum Store edition of Vacuum Saved, more so Thrift Store edition, now that I've gotten more machines from the Thrift Store variety. So, this is the Thrift Store edition of Vacuum Saved. So, as far as all the machines that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 machines. Not the most in the world, but a solid number. And if you like these videos, then please be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell notifications, because there will be another Vacuum Save video coming later on. It is already planned out as far as what's going to be featured in it, and it will be recorded soon, but it won't be uploaded for a little bit longer. So keep that in mind. Be subscribed, and if you like these types of videos, consider backing the channel's Patreon in the link in the description below. Anyways, so Thrift Store edition of Vacuum Saved is official. And what do we have featured in this video? Well, we have a few vacuums from the thrift store. These 2 canisters were from a Goodwill. These 2 uprights were from a Salvation Army. This particular Dirt Devil I got from my landlord, who dropped it off after a tenant left the house. And these 2 machines back here I got from my local vacuum store. So, which one do we start off with? Well, let's go from left to right. Arguably the most interesting machine out of this entire lot, at least from a collector's perspective, we have the Eureka Whirlwind Electronic Plus. Now, this particular machine, as you can see, I got this for $6. And as you can see, it is in somewhat decent condition. I did give it a basic wipe down, the most basic wipe down possible with a rag. But beyond that, haven't done anything to it. You can tell I haven't done any deep cleaning on it. It's just the way it is. I will say that I did take this apart before I ran this, and the filter on the inside of the dust cup entirely fell apart. Probably because it's very old and, well, obviously deteriorated after so many years. So this won't be ran for very long, but we can at least see if this is working. So we'll undo this cord. Now, this particular machine doesn't have any sort of cord winders. The cords are just fixed to the machine, or the cord winders, I should say, are just fixed to the machine. So we just got to undo this entire cable. Just like that. And plug this in. The camera is not focusing. I really need to get a new camera. But, yeah, so we can look at the back of this. This one is model 4687, and let's see, type A1, serial number is 00410. I'm assuming that means the 41st week of 2000. So, made in Bloomington, Illinois, of course. Missing all the attachments. We do have a HEPA filter that was replaced at some point. It's probably due for a replacement again. This machine is obviously going to need a service, as it's very dusty. But let's see if the machine actually runs. Take the hose off down here. There we go. And we'll try this out. Well, one thing's for sure is that this machine is very loud and clearly needs some motor work done, as well as some housing work as well, since you can kind of hear that kind of squeaking, creaking noise. But yeah, so this motor is in need of some work, but it's definitely not too far gone. I've heard many of these that sound a lot worse. So it does have some suction, but obviously not a lot. It potentially could be clogged or just have a lot of dirt and stuff built up in the motor, which could be both causing the sound failings, that's not the right terminology, but the sound issues as well as potentially the lack of suction as well. The brush roll did appear to turn, but the belt obviously is likely going to be in need of a replacement. Potentially the brush roll does seem it's not the worst condition in the world, but you can see it is pretty battered and beat up. The bearings, they are a little bit stuck, but it's not, you can tell it is putting some strain on that belt, but it's not, they're not entirely locked up. I'm sure this could be easily serviced. See, the bristles do stick out a little bit from the chassis, but they are pretty badly worn. This machine could ideally use a new brush roll. Everything else on the bottom looks to be good, though, so it seems like most of the damage to this machine is just on the basic wear parts that you would expect after 20 years of use. So I think this machine could definitely be salvaged. I will need to get some attachments for it. So I know where I can get a crevice tool and maybe both extension wands, but I still have not been able to source this combo tool, and I actually need like 2 or 3 more of these as well, so I need to get like 4 of these now, because the Mite and my other Whirlwind, and and then I need a spare for whenever I get a Victory, or another one of these big cups that I still might be getting from another vacuum collector. So I will need to get that for it, but it's definitely what you'd expect. I would say for $6, it's fine. I definitely like the sort of shiny burgundy color, so that's nice. And this was, oh, that's the dirt alert right there, yeah, because this is the Electronic Plus, so this is the one with the dirt sensor that a lot of vacuums back in around this time would advertise. So that's nifty. So this machine is working, but definitely is in need of a good service, and still not too far gone, at least not yet. But if I don't do some sort of work on this, if this was to keep being used over and over again as is, well, first off, it wouldn't clean all that well, and it probably would fail after a while anyways. So there's that. And to go on the other half of the Eureka spectrum, we have a Eureka Mite. This one I got from a local Goodwill. You can see, paid $7.99 for it. And you can see it does have the cleaner head, both wands, and the hose. All of that's in good shape. And then the only other attachment we have with it is the crevice tool. So this does use the same crevice tool and combination tool as that other Eureka, since they're both from around the same era, even though this one obviously survived a lot longer. You can tell this is one of the newer Eureka logos. Not the newest Eureka logo, but this, probably the 3rd newest Eureka logo. Definitely the one that replaced that one. So you can kind of tell the era of this machine. We look underneath here. Still Eureka from Bloomington, Illinois. This serial number is 09320. So this one was manufactured on the 320th day of 2009, or that might just be the 32nd week of 2009. I forgot exactly how these are dated, but it's something like that. Either way, it's a 2009, so it's about an 11-year-old vacuum. Actually, probably 12 years at this point, almost. So, yeah, that's the Eureka Mite. And yeah, so obviously there is enough wands on here to make it taller than all the other machines. But yeah, so, and I first did try this out previously, and I won't say how it turned out, because obviously you're about to find out. But I will say that it took me a while to figure out, not a while necessarily, but it did take me a little bit to figure out where the power button was. And again, no cord winders, no cord rewind either, which a cord rewind would usually be pretty common on a canister like this. But no cord rewind, we just have cord winders stored underneath the vacuum, which is definitely interesting. That's something you don't see every day. We do have some splitting on this wire right here, so that could do to be cut and then, reattached somewhere inside the machine. But, I could probably cut off just that little bit, not lose hardly any cord and still reattach it and not have that. I don't notice any other spots on the cord where there is any damage, which makes sense because this is a straight suction machine, so there's no real opportunities for there to be a rotating brush that could potentially get caught on a cord and tear it up. And then obviously someone who buys a straight suction machine like this wouldn't, at least it shouldn't in theory, have pets, because obviously this would not be good at picking up pet hair, but still should be, you know, okay. So we're just going to grab this wand out of the way, which is currently tangled around everything else. So we'll go ahead and plug this in. Plug this in right here. Just like that. Alright, and ooh, I just stubbed my toe on the other canister, which I just realized these are tangled. Oh, sorry, Ruby. Okay. Can you tell why I'm not really a fan of canisters? It's all this nonsense. It's all tangled up like that. Anyways, should be alright. Well, this motor needs some work as well, but there is suction. The machine is working. Come on. Get in there. Okay. Yeah, so this machine is working. Definitely appears to be, you know, somewhat functional. But yeah, so it does have a nice long hose. And it does have, you know, a decent amount of length. Although the actual diameter of this hose is a little bit small, so it could be prone to clogs potentially. Unlike this Sanyo, which we'll try next. So I mainly just got this Eureka because it was the Goodwill that I got both these machines from. Well, they hardly ever get any sort of vacuums in. But this time they did. Sometimes they'll have bags or something like that, but nothing too crazy. So whenever I went to this Goodwill, I got these two vacuums. Then also in their phone case section, they had an unused Rhino Shield crash guard for the Note 9. So I got that as well for like 99 cents. For those of you who are interested in phones and cases and stuff, so I did get this. It's not on my phone at the moment, as you can obviously tell. But it's a nice little case. I've seen a lot of reviews on these cases, and they are pretty decent. So for 99 cents, I surely can't complain. And so yeah, so this one was $8. I'd say it's worth $8. Honestly, even if the machine didn't work, I'd still pick it up for $8 just to get the attachments and the cord off it. Even if I somehow didn't want to use the actual parts of the machine. So when something this cheap, you're pretty much just required to pick it up. Because, you know, what are you really risking? Even a worst case scenario, you know, if it doesn't work, you still got your money's worth out of it. But yeah, so here's this lovely Sanyo with a nice metal wand. I just did a video on this one. So if you've seen that video, then you know the condition of this machine. But nevertheless, between this one and the Eureka, I do like this one a lot more. It's obviously a more premium machine. Has a proper cord rewind, has the attachments with it. It was cheaper. It was only $5, probably because they didn't know what it was, and they just assumed it was some no-name knockoff canister that no one would want. But, yeah. So if we look... Oh, of course, that's backwards. So... see right there, Sanyo, model SC30, and this one has the 7100-2922 model number, or not model number, just number, apparently. No real date code on this, but, yeah, so there's that. We do have both of the small attachments on board, so we have a little crevice tool and a little dusting brush right here. And we have the actual wand with the floor nozzle, so that's definitely nice. Patches. Hi. How are you, Patches? It's precisely what I'm doing. Because Patches is very photogenic. Isn't he? Patches just don't give a fuck. Oh, look at that yawn. Oh, yes. Good boy. Okay, back to the vacuum. So, this Sanyo, $5. See how it runs. So yeah, this one I really like. It's a lot quieter. It does have a bit of a smell to it, but obviously the filters and the whole machine needs a good cleaning. But the suction on it is very good. It has a nice wide diameter hose. So I'm considering using this as my bench vac. But yeah, so definitely a very nice find. And for $5, I mean, again, just this alone would be $5. So, to kind of get the point across. So very, very nice machine. A lot of collectors have, from what I can tell, been really appreciative of these Sanyos, and I can see why. They're very, very cute little machines. The only thing is this one's bagless, which is weird. I thought it was going to be bagged based on the way it looks, but it is bagless, so that's a bit weird. But other than that, works just fine. Boom, there we go. So get that cord right in there, and of course this one I have to actually wrap up, but what are you going to do? So we've got the two Goodwill vacs out of the way, and now we go to the last Salvation Army vac, which is this little thing, this big thing. This is a Bissell Total Floors. You can see this one, $6 as well. And this one is pretty grubby. Haven't done much to this. As far as what appears to be wrong with it on the surface, it obviously is in need of a clean. This little clip that's supposed to hold the hose right here is missing. All the attachments are missing. And yeah, this thing just appears to have had a hard life, so to speak. But if you look at the model number, this is model, I believe that says 52. The 2's kind of rubbed off. 52C2W, assuming that's correct. Something similar to that. Again, that 2 could be messing up the way I'm looking at it, assuming that even is a 2. And manufactured on the 111th day of 2014. So this particular machine's about almost 7 years old. Actually, probably about 7 years old at this point. This is a 12 amp model. And we can see there's definitely a little bit different. It's kind of similar to like the Bissell Clean Views of this era that they still sell to this day, but it's obviously set up a little bit differently. It's a very quirky machine. I kind of picked it up because even though I've become less and less of a fan of these bagless Bissells, despite my initial collection consisting mostly of them, this one was just too quirky and weird for me to pass up, especially for the price, because this is one with a brush roll shutoff, so it is a little bit more versatile. Has the same, pull-out bin that a lot of the Bissells of this type had. And then you've got a little filter underneath here, which won't even pull out all the way because of how packed with dirt it is. So we can see right there, it is pretty badly clogged with materials. Oh, hi, Cooper.
Do you care? Not to ruin that, but do you care if he's down here for a bit?
No, not at all.
Because I just want him to run around for a little bit.
No, that's fine.
I am. Right.
Cooper, you want to be on YouTube?
You want to be on the tube with you?
Cooper. So some of you might be wondering why Ruby's getting a little bit chunk. No, she can't go fat. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm being attacked. Yes, we're talking about you. Yes. So some of you might be wondering why Ruby's getting so chunky. And that's because that little devil decided to, well, let's just say she's having puppies soon. So we're going to have puppies that are going to be mixed between this dude and this chick right here. And I can tell Cooper's very excited. Oh, wow. Hi. Yes, hello. Don't lick my camera. Hi. Ruby, don't eat that. That's dust. Okay. Oh, hi. Oh. Ruby. Hey, guys, can I get back to my video, please? Why are you sniffing my butt? Oh my gosh, there's so many close-up shots happening right now. Cooper. Okay, I'm just gonna... Oh, hi. Hello. Anyways, yeah, so this filter is pretty badly clogged with junk, and I'm trying to at least get some dust off it so it's not sucking all that into the motor, but it's probably too far gone at this point. So obviously this is going to need an entire clean and strip down to the motor, because this is just disgusting. So anyways, so this right here, we'll go back in here just for now. Or I guess I could use the Sanyo to clean out this filter real quick, but I mean, y'all want to see it run as I get it, so then we'll look at this brush roll too. Spins very freely. There's not really any resistance. Probably why they got rid of it. Oh, wait a minute. What if I turn that the other way? Oh, there we go. Oh, wow. Did they seriously just throw this out just because the brush roll was turned off? That would not surprise me one bit. Because, yeah, this belt has plenty of tension, and the brush roll's spinning just fine. I see no real issues with it. As you can hear, the bearings are a little bit noisy, particularly this one over here. But it's more than serviceable. This bottom appears all good. The bottom of this is surprisingly clean for the amount of crap that's clearly gone through this machine. And since you guys want to see probably the other filter as well, you can see that right there. Just entirely disgusting. I would totally understand if someone would not want to bring this into their house. But I do have that air purifier running, so hopefully that should make it a little bit more tolerable. Oh, it's one of these people that winds the cord like this. Ugh. God, you just gotta love the people who wind their cords like this. These people should honestly not be allowed to vote. Anyways, so we're just gonna wind this cord down, and I'm trying to get up, but there's a sausage on my lap. Isn't that right, Woopers? Cooper? Ruby. No, Cooper, don't eat that. Ruby, can I get up, please? So I can keep working? Ruby? Ruby, come on. Get up. Get up. Oh, yes, walk right on the dust. Get it all over your paws. Okay. I'm on a real time crunch here, so I'm trying to get this done real quick. Alright. It's probably going to spit out a bunch of dust. Yep, I was right. Ugh. Why do I do this to myself? Oh, that brush roll sounds awful. Well, that motor does sound pretty rough on wind down, but as far as the motor itself, it actually doesn't sound nearly as bad as I thought it would. I thought this motor would have been entirely gone and just chainsaw mode to the max, but apparently not, and apparently this friggin' phone just reset. Oh, please, God, I hope my phone doesn't do this, because I literally recorded the repair video of this Hoover twice yesterday, and my phone kept crashing and deleting the footage. It's the most infuriating thing ever. So hopefully I can get an actual camera so I can actually keep doing these videos, because if I don't have a good camera, I can't really do these videos, can I? So now that we've got that out of the way, we're going to move on to this little dirt devil. This is one that my landlord gave me. One of his former tenants had left this behind, and he was like, he just dropped it off and was like, hey, I hope this is probably isn't worth anything, so if you want this, you can take it. I heard you said, because my landlord knows that I collect and fix vacuums, and he actually thinks it's kind of cool, or at least he seemed that way. So he gave me this vacuum, and he said this probably isn't worth a whole lot, but it's at least something. You can at least use it for parts or something. And I'm like, yeah, you're right, but it actually isn't too bad. Although the biggest problem with this is this thing being loose. And I'm not sure what I can do about that, but if I can't find the actual replacement clip that goes on here, then I do have a friend who said he's just going to buy it as is, because he doesn't really mind having to have this basically taped on. So, yeah, that's this little dirt devil. So, we'll give this piece of crap a run. So the good news is that the bin actually does hold on just fine whenever the vacuum's running. So it does have suction. The belt is snapped. So you can see the brush is just kind of free flying. And yeah, so it is running though, so that's good. Has suction, could be partially clogged, or could just have slightly low suction due to the filters. It's entirely possible. So apparently there's a filter in here. Okay. Oh, that scared the crap out of me. But yeah, so there's some dirt and stuff in here. Could use a clean. This filter could use a good wash, possibly replace, but it's not too bad. It's very minuscule as far as that. And obviously the whole thing's dusty and needs a clean and a refurb. Other than that, for a free vacuum, I'm not complaining. I definitely don't like this vacuum. This vacuum is awful. Mainly just because of that flaw with this button, which according to my research, has been a common problem on these. But yeah, so there's that. Now, should we do the Orc or the Dyson? Let's do the Dyson as our second to last vacuum. Hi, Coop. So as our second to last vacuum in this lineup. Now this one, I did confirm it does work. And I got this one from my local vacuum store. I actually got this one and that Orc for $160 for both of them. And this one was tagged at $80 and this one was tagged at $150. So I basically bought that Orc and got this one for only $10, which I was planning on getting anyways. So I thought, you know, I haven't had a Kinetic before. I wanted to do a review on it. And yeah, so that's the Kinetic. This $700 monstrosity is now in the studio. So it has some problems with it, unfortunately, which explains why it was marked down. The bin, the actual seal on the bin, you see what I mean? Look at that. Yeah, so that is awful. I just went to take the bin off the machine and it just spills dust everywhere. Isn't that nice? Well, that's great because I'm on a time crunch now. I don't have a lot of time. So I guess I gotta pause this video and suck this up real quick, probably with the Sanyo. And yeah, so be right back. Okay, fixed it. Maybe it would help if I actually plug in the vacuum. What is this? Oh, that's the... Don't know what that is. Not important. Okay, that's out of the way. But yeah, so other than the seal in the bin being bad, so ideally this would get a new bin, a new hose, because the hose is kind of kinked, so it makes it hard to put the wand back in properly, like every single one of these types of Dysons have. At least mine, for some reason. And yeah, but other than that, it works great. And for the price that I paid, I'm not complaining. Now finally the Orc XL Platinum. Are you just going to keep running through every time I run a vacuum? But yeah, so this one also got from the same store. It's actually kind of cool because whenever I went to buy this, the belt had actually gone bad from it sitting in the display window, because this is one of those display window vacuums. And so I actually helped the owner of the store put the brush roll back in, because actually both of us kept screwing up where we were trying to mismatch the normal and special ends on this brush roll, because this is an older style brush roll. He did have newer brush rolls in stock, but this one hadn't, you know, at the time didn't need a replace because it was running just fine. So yeah, has the original brush roll, which is nice. And yeah, and I put just a crappy Great Value bag in it just for now, but eventually I'll get some Orc HEPA bags. And I do need to still strip this thing down and clean it because there is some dust on it. But other than that, it works great. So after we got a belt and everything on it, it works just fine. I do need to, the belt is kind of starting to slip again, so I do probably need to retrofit this with the EnduraLife belt system, which you can do on these XL21 style machines. So, we got the lovely burgundy red Orc XL Platinum, and as far as the sticker, you can see right there, 09227C, so 2009 XL Platinum. So, this video is in such disarray. But anyways, this is Untitled Studio signing out with another vacuum save video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And hopefully, despite all the disarray and issues, it was still somewhat enjoyable. Somewhat enjoyable to see these machines. So another vacuum save will be coming soon, but not too soon. I'll definitely be doing some videos in between, but possibly at maybe like the end of the month, give or take. So yeah, this is Untitled Studios signing out. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Vacuum Saved, and I'll see you guys in the next video. So as far as which machines you want me to see do repairs and reviews on, definitely drop that in the comments. And again, if you want to support the channel, then my Patreon will be in the description. You don't have to back the Patreon if you don't want to. Watching the videos is just perfectly fine. But I did start a Patreon mainly only just because people requested that I open up a Patreon, because some people were wanting to do consistent backing of the channel. And if you are interested, that link's in the description. Otherwise, watching the videos is very, very nice as well. And if you are watching this video, thank you so much. And hope you guys enjoy it, and hopefully you'll continue to enjoy the new ones that come out after this. So anyway, guys, Untitled Studios signing out. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one. Peace.